on a second. Give me a second. All right. I'm here. All right. So, season's over. Wow. And for, the first time in a couple of years, we have a team that's not the UConn Huskies winning a national championship, albeit a team that has won 3 now. And the first one since 2007 for Florida. They went 06-07. They win in 2025, I suppose, is this year. Congratulations to Tim Hanks on the bracket victory. Big money there for him. Big ups. Some would say that I played a part in that bracket and how it went out, but that's a different story for a different day. But I think the big takeaway for me in this game, for the game itself, is just like the toughness that Florida showed all year, of like the ability to come back in these games. Like Houston was leading the majority of this game. They had a lead as large as 12, and not one time did I expect Florida to not be back in this game, and they were back in it. And they took over late. Their guards played better at the end of the game. I'm getting rid of this beard and this goatee because the Blues lost, but that's a different story. I just think it looks fucking horrendous, but it doesn't matter. Houston's guards were bad down the stretch, I thought. Florida's were not. And in a game where Walter Clayton really struggled, and Elijah Martin, Walter Clayton, like I dropped a pin, hang on. Before this game started, if you told me that Elijah Martin and Walter Clayton went 2 for 13 from 3, my thoughts would be, wow, Florida must have gotten destroyed. Props to Will Richard. He really showed up. 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from downtown, 18 points for him. He was the MVP of this game for them. He made shots early when they needed it because Walter Clayton didn't score forever. Only ended up with 11 points. I also thought the whistle in this game was brutal. I think Houston got a tough whistle. Florida, though, responded to adversity, and Houston's guards, man, just a bad game from the big 3 that they have in that backcourt with Uzan, Sharp, and Cryer. Cryer, I will say, 4 of 11 from 3. You'll take that all day, making 4 threes. But the other 2, Uzan and Sharp combined for 14 points. They went 1 of 11 from 3. They went 5 of 20 from the field. And then Walt Roberts, the length of Florida really affected Roberts in this game. 3 of 13 from the field for him. Florida, I think, was the best team for a lot of the parts of this season. I think they earned it the most. Like, for Florida to sit there and go 36-4 this year in one of the best SECs we've ever seen, probably the best SEC we've ever seen, for them to go 36-4 is insane. Absolutely a rightful winner in the grand scheme of things. Are they as good as other winners the last 25 years? No. That doesn't matter, though. 36-4, they earned it. They were a 1 seed. They had a lot of they didn't play their best basketball in the first few games of this tournament. They didn't play their best basketball tonight. They didn't play their best basketball against Auburn. I mean, the best tournament game that they played outside of the Norfolk State game, which we don't really have to count because it's a 16 seed that they're far superior to. I think the best basketball they played, obviously, was against Maryland. They beat Maryland by 16. UConn gave them a test. Texas Tech gave them a test. Auburn gave them a test, and Houston tested them. So last 3 games to win a title, and 4 of the 6, you were really, really tested. And they went 14-4 in the SEC. I think a lot of people always knew Todd Golden was an elite coach, but really, really elite in this, Florida job. The job that he's done, excellent. Kind of reviving a Florida program that was stuck in neutral for a while under Mike White. And, I don't know. I don't think that they're bringing it quite back to the days of, Billy Donovan winning 2 in a row. Not to say Florida can't win 2 in a row, but, a rightful national champion, I think. A team that has, Walter Clayton, who's going to be drafted, I would think. Toughness, athleticism, length. They have all those things. They beat Ken Pom according to KenPom, 4 of their 6 tournament wins were against top 10 teams. Maryland's 10th on KenPom, Texas Tech is 9th, Auburn is 4th, Houston is 2nd. And I know Florida's not going to end the year as number 1 according to the metrics. That's fine. They went 14-4 in a really good conference. They lost 4 games the entire year. They finished the year. This team hasn't lost since February 25th. They didn't lose. They lost 2 games from February 1st to now. That record right there since February 1st, since we got out of January, where they lost 2 games in January, big deal. This team went 18-2 in divided parts of the season. So they started 18-2, they finished 18-2. So November to January, 18-2, February to now, 18-2. So yeah, the rightful winner, rightful national champion, Todd Golden in year 3 at Florida wins a national championship. Hadn't won a tournament game before this. Same with Dan Hurley at UConn. Before UConn won back-to-back, Hurley hadn't won a tournament game. So something to be said. I mean, Todd Golden had 2 teams at San Francisco that were fine, but not great. The 2021 team was bad, whatever, weird season. Only played 25 games, whole big thing. His 3rd team in San Francisco was really, really good. Made the tournament, lost in the first round of Murray State in overtime. But that team had Jamari Bouye, Khalil Shabazz, Patrick Tape. I mean, that was a good basketball team. First team at Florida, not great. Last year they made the tournament, lost in the first round to Colorado by 2. They bring in guys like Elijah Martin, who was 4 years at FAU, played in the Final Four, I should say. Will Richards, a guy who's been at Florida for 3 years now, all 3 years with Todd Golden, really developed. Ruben Chinyelu, transferred from Washington State, played a big role in this game tonight with the length, played 19 minutes, had a shot block. Alex Condon, another guy, year 2, developed. Thomas Haug, same thing, year 2, developed at Florida. Denzel Aberdeen's a guy that has stuck with Florida all 3 years with Todd Golden. Like the retention obviously matters in a lot of ways. I mean, this team, in terms of continuity, 42nd in the country from this year to last year, well above the national average of 33.7, 54.1 for them. And the thing that impressed me all year with Florida the most is just there's rolling guys off the bench that are just as good as the starters in some cases. Like this team had insane depth, really quality depth, 251st in bench minutes, but like the guys that ran out there, the rotating bigs were a huge factor for them all year. So you had Thomas Haug, Alex Condon, Ruben Chinyelu, and Micah Handel-Ogden, who played a lot of college basketball in year 1 at Marshall. Broken leg somewhere along the way, and here we are now. I mean, this guy missed the tournament last year and didn't play until February 15th and just played solid, consistent minutes for the most part. Didn't do a ton in the Final Four of the national title game, but was there if you needed him. And obviously I think UConn wipes the floor with this Florida team last year, but that's not the point. And maybe they don't. Maybe wipes the floor is a strong term because Florida was really good this year. When it comes to the net rating of national champions, Florida 36.4. UConn last year 36.43. To be fair, 0.3 higher for Florida at or 0.03 at plus 36.46. UConn 29.86 in 2023. Kansas in 22 is 27.4. Baylor 33.8 in 2021. Virginia was 34.2. So they're better than a lot of these national champions. UConn net rating was really close to them last season at 36. Obviously, Virginia 1934, they were close. Villanova's teams were really good, but not quite there in terms of net rating. 2015, Kentucky had a higher net rating than this Florida team. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Florida had the lead for 50 seconds. Yeah. Houston, just that last play, man. That's That's going to haunt them because I don't know if Houston gets back. Like, it takes a lot for this team to get here with the toughness and the, having a couple things go your way here and there. Houston's been a really consistent program the last several years, but I'd be pretty surprised if Houston gets back here, next year, and we'll see what the future holds. But obviously, Kelvin Sampson's not getting any younger. But props to this Houston team. I mean, took out Duke. I can't help but think that Duke and Florida would have been a really, really, really good basketball game. But guess what? Duke didn't earn it. For Duke fans to be blaming the refs right now, it's insane. I'm 11 minutes into this, and I have to say, props to, and I know the chat's not buzzing. I should have tweeted earlier that I was going to go live after the game. Should be expected, really. It's kind of the people that watch us. It's their fault for not knowing that I'd be live, but it's fine. Tyler's not available right now. That's why it's just me. So, for the people that do like 4 hours of overnight radio, I know they have callers, but man, that must be tough because my jaw is affected by talking for 11 minutes. I mean, I would just be like Mike Francesa and just take really long pauses, except he's like, 70 years old and has been doing it forever. The pause is your friend, though, in these scenarios. The pause is your friend. Comments. We'll open up the comments. You can talk Illini, too, if you want. Illinois landing another transfer tonight. They already got Zvonimir Ivasic over the weekend, the Arkansas transfer, of course, the twin of Tomislav. And then they land David Mirkovic from SC Derby as well, where Tommy played overseas, the 6'9" power forward from Montenegro. And Jonathan Givoni seems to think that the Illini might not be done on the European front when it comes to players. The game was not great for watching. No, but it was close. A couple big shots here and there. The refs really took over down the stretch, which is unfortunate. I don't know what the free throw numbers ended up being. I think it was 20-something to 20. Florida had 21 free throw attempts. Houston had 14. Total fouls were 19-11. Houston had 19. So Illini not getting more athletic. That is fair. A lot of time, you still had an athletic guard. But, who knows? I don't know. Houston, the last 4 minutes, had 0 points and 4 turnovers. Brutal, yeah. And then I could have shot off there. Oof. That's tough. You think Sarr is the next to commit? I don't know if he's the next to commit, but I do think the Illini are going to get Sarr. I could see maybe them not getting him, but I just have a feeling that they're going to get him. And then at that point, you got to see where you're at. You have Boswell, you have the Ivasic twins, you have Mirkovic, you have Rogers, you have Jaxtis is still there, right? You have somebody else I'm forgetting. You got Lee and Wagler, obviously the freshman. But yeah, I do wonder like what the plan is. I'm curious to see what the plan is because I don't know what it is. Like, is there going to be a big time transfer that they go after? I wonder. I don't like that they're. I'm not going to say it. Pointless. Need an athletic wing/guard. I will say Mirkovic seems to play a pretty clean, high IQ basketball game. I want to watch his tape from the under 19 thing where he had insane numbers like 23, 14, and 6 or whatever. I want to see those numbers. But clearly Illinois is emphasizing Europe, and I don't blame them. I mean, you look at, the two most impactful players at their peak last season for this team were Kasparis and Tomislav, and that's obviously not a shot at, what Boswell did down the stretch and what Will Riley did down the stretch, but I don't blame them for looking for these really talented guys who have played against, played against men. So, like, these aren't your normal – like, Mirkovic is not going to be your normal 19-year-old in the sense that he's played different levels of basketball at the young age. Like, the U.S. system is something that I don't blame the Illini for wanting to kind of stay away from a little bit. So Mirkovic is 6'9", 242, played for SC Derby in Liga last season, which is where Tomislav Ivicic played. Okay, so let's see. For Derby last season, the ABA League, 24 games, 23.6 minutes, 8.8 points per game, 47% from 2, 27% from 3, 67% from the free throw line. By the way, 24 of 88 from 3. Not great. Don't love that. 6.7 rebounds, 1.3 assists per game. The ABA Unite Under 19 League, he played 3 games, 31 minutes, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists-ish, close, 3 blocks per game. So you have big numbers there. We'll see how that translates, but it'll be interesting. Do the European players make less NIL? I heard they do. I don't know. I do not know that. But yeah, 2 additions so far, both front court additions. So Illinois certainly wants some depth in the front court. You have Ivicic, Mirkovic, Jack Stizic. So there you go. Gets me European front court depth. And Jack Stizic. Jack Stizic. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do next. Like Dame Sarr is a guy that, when it comes to raw talent, that's a really, really talented player, and he's 18 already. I think he'd be a good fit in a lot of ways. But you're kind of getting talent that can translate to the next level, and you need that in a lot of ways. I don't know. I'm not a frame of mind to talk about the Illini that much right now. But it is exciting to be landing guys so people can, keep quiet for a little bit over the panic that we saw. I am curious to see what their plan is with Zvonimir Ivicic, because obviously Tommy's going to start. Is Hummer gone? I don't know. Good question. What did Tommy shoot for Derby last year in that league? Because 24 for 88, 27% for Mirkovic. Let me see. Tomislav Ivicic. Would you like to have an older 2 guard? Yeah. I mean, Rogers is old. So there's that. And Boswell, but he's not really a 2. Show me the goddamn European stats. What the fuck is this? Apologies for my language. Why can't I find this the European stats? What is going on here? Oh my god, I have to subscribe to the European stats? Jesus Christ. I love Euro basketball and looking at the stats, but come on. You won't give me stats? How dumb is that? Okay, here we go. Yeah, Tommy shot 42% from 3 in his last year with SC Derby in 22 games. He wasn't shooting as much. I mean, he went 11 for 26, but interesting for Mirkovic to shoot 24 of 88. He went 37% the year before, though, in 24 games. So looks like his shot fell off a cliff. It looks like his efficiency on offense fell off a cliff in his second year with more reps. More minutes, more reps. He was a 47, 37, 76 splits guy last year, and this year 38, 27, 67. That is weird. The hell happened? His offensive efficiency just fell off a cliff. He made 9 more 2s with 33 more attempts, or 29 more attempts, and he made 10 more 3s with 50 more attempts. So, not ideal. I'll have to dive into some film on him, though. What about Dame Sarr? What's his efficiency? Numbers looking like. Dame Sarr. 43% from three, 9 for 21 in 12 games for Barca. Interesting. So, congrats to Florida. Why couldn't 05 play in the... Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, those are the breaks, you know? Florida trailed Texas Tech by 10 with 5:32 remaining. Trailed Auburn by 9 with 18:02 remaining. Trailed Houston by 12 with 16:24 remaining. Houston just awful efficiency tonight. 35, 24, 64 splits. And for Florida to be bad from three and win this game, that is props to that front court. And obviously Will Richard making shots early. Like, without Will Richard, Florida's 2 for 17 from three. It's wild. And Houston's guys that they rely on most for offense did nothing for the most part. I mean, Cryer had a pretty good game, but yeah, it's the way it's got to be, I guess. I don't think I'm gonna reflect much on this NCAA tournament. Like, it was what it was. Like, it had a good Final Four, a good national championship, and that's that, I would say. LJ Cryer, by the way, won a national championship his freshman year, so this could have been 2 for him, but 2 national championships at 2 different schools, which would have been interesting, but didn't happen. I mean, to be fair, he played 1 minute in the national championship game in 2021, but would have been an interesting stat to win 2 national championships. Played a lot of, or was on a lot of teams that played a lot of NCAA tournament basketball. I mean, runner-up year 1 at Houston, Sweet 16, or runner-up year 2 at Houston, Sweet 16 year 1 at Houston, round 2 in 2 years at Baylor, and they won the national championship in 2021. But he was playing more minutes, obviously, in year 3 at Baylor. So yeah, good career for him. A lot of guys that are going to be moving on to the next level for, not next level, I guess, to be fair, but a lot of guys moving on for Houston. Cryer, Roberts, we'll see what Uzan does. We'll see what Sharp does. Malik Wilson was a senior, but yeah, Tugler, Arsenault were both sophomores. Francis was a senior, so we'll see what he does. But yeah, I mean, Kelvin Sampson continues to build at Houston. The last 4 teams have been so good. Last 5, I should say. The post-COVID, Houston has been one of the gold standard programs. It's them. It's UConn. That might be the big 2. Gonzaga, I guess, should be in the conversation. They were in the national championship in 2021. But like Houston's run here, Final Four in 21, Elite 8 in 22, Sweet 16 in 23 and 24, runner-up in 25. I don't think that can be matched in terms of doing that level of thing every year. I don't think anybody else has done that. I mean, if you look at the post-COVID Alabama, Sweet 16 round 1, Sweet 16 Final Four, Elite 8, like that's pretty close. That says a lot about what Nate Oates has done. Like, my God, for Alabama to be as good as they are every year, it's Nate Oates is an elite. Like, if anybody is out there and doesn't think Nate Oates is one of the 5 best coaches in the country, what are we doing? ESPN has way too early Houston #1. Yeah, I mean, if they retain the big 2 juniors that are Sharp and Uzan, and no doubt they'll win the Big 12. But maybe do a little top 5 coaches in the country thing real quick, since you kind of reflect on coaches at the end of the year. Let me see what I can come up here with a list. It's hard not to put Golden on there, and I will. I know he has only had 1 tournament where he won games, but hard to not see it. Not one Illinois sighting in the shining moment. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Forgot about watching that. Why didn't I keep that on? I'm an idiot. That's a bad look for me. That's tough. Got to the second round, Man, this top 5 coaches in the country's list is tough. The sport is healthy when it comes to coaching. My God, this is tough. Anybody have their top 5 coaches in the country? Interesting. I don't want to leave anybody out. Let's see. Who am I missing? Sampson, Golden, Oates, Shire, Hurley. I extended my list to 10. Hurley 1, Izzo 2, Sampson 3, Golden 4, Oates 5, Painter 6, Pearl 7, Patino 8, Few 9, Shire 10. And that's off the top of my head. Like if I could go other, if I could take time, I would have a different list probably. I would look at, Rick Barnes. You look at Otzelberger. I know Iowa State didn't have the season they wanted this year, and they lost in the Sweet 16 last year, but he's up there. I would think that Bill Self is still a great coach. Like I probably should include him in the top 10 somewhere, but off the cuff, it's really, really difficult to not want to, exclude anybody. I will say Greg McDermott is a really good coach. I think Mark Pope, obviously Chris Beard, I would have up there. Let's see. Brad Underwood's a really good coach. Riley's mom, 4 or 5 seconds. There you go. But yeah, the sport's really healthy in terms of coaches. Still really good. Also, I think Tommy Lloyd is good too. Painter over Shire, forgot about him. Yeah. It's tough. It is tough. But my point was that Nate Oates is the top 5 coach in the country. The guy won tournament games in multiple years at Buffalo. Alabama, I get they're a big institution. They're a football school, and nobody was getting those results at Alabama. Nobody. And it wasn't for lack of talent. They had Colin Sexton in that one year with Avery Johnson as head coach, and they were awful. So my point is that Nate Oates is really good, and so is Todd Golden, and so are a lot of coaches in the country. Avery Johnson had 4 years at Alabama, not one top 50 Ken Pom team, not one season with more than 20 wins. Pretty rough. And Nate Oates has 6 seasons, 4 trips to the second weekend, 1 Final Four appearance, 1 Elite 8 appearance, 4 seasons with 25 or more wins. So, yeah. Would you have Underwood in top 20? Yes. I would say he'd be in the 16 to 20 range somewhere. Because I still think outside of the top 10, obviously I didn't have Bill Self. He had to be on there ahead of Underwood. I think Rick Barnes would be ahead of Underwood. I think Otzelberger would be ahead of Underwood. I think that's where you start to have questions about where to put him after that. Because I'd have a hard time putting, I know Dusty May probably deserves a spot somewhere too. Like in terms of builders, he seems like one of the best. Greg Gard, they underachieve in the tournament every time. So what do you want? And he inherited a good program. I think that matters in some of these cases here. that matters. Mark Few, I had number 9. And also Scott Drew is another guy that has to be in the conversation somewhere. I get that they've been pretty disappointing as a program since winning the national championship in 2021, but still a great coach. Chris Beard is obviously a factor. Shaka's, I think, a good coach, but didn't have a very good team this year in terms of what their standard has been, at least. It's kind of sad the tournament's over, though. It's kind of sad. College basketball season's over. I don't know what we're going to do. We should have an episode sometime this week. We'll talk Zvonimir Ivisic. We'll talk Mirkovic, all that stuff. We'll talk about upcoming targets potentially. And we'll try to figure out an off-season plan of what we're going to do, maybe some live streams weekly or something to just talk about other things. Masters Week this week. We'll probably see if we can get an episode in before that. I don't know if we will, but it'll be interesting to approach those things. And this will be the final call for the chat before I hop off here. The chat can throw their thoughts and comments in now. Final call for the chat. Good luck to the chat. I'm just going to sit here in silence for a minute. Remember that Rick Pitino had what was I going to say? Rick Pitino had Walter Clayton as his point guard at Iona for a couple of years. Just remember that. I finished 5th in the bracket. Tried my best. Tyler finished 21st. I beat him. Congrats to the winner. Last call for the chat. $20 seconds. A little bit of a different look at the thing here. Whoa, this is weird. Whoa. Oh, can't see me. There we go. Florida wins the national championship, 3rd title in 20 years. And congrats to them. And we will see everybody on the next episode of the podcast. Goodbye.